So it's Friday evening, and yes, I did cheat on the low FODMAP diet, or take a break from it, or whatever you want to call it. I ate that ice cream, then later that night, I tried the other ice creams, and then I ended up eating a bagel for dinner, and then today I've had more ice cream, I had another bagel, or maybe I had 2 bagels. I had some low FODMAP stuff. I had my usual low FODMAP fruit, normal low FODMAP nuts, but I also let myself eat whatever higher FODMAP things I wanted to eat and just take a break and regroup and think about things. Because low FODMAP is one of those things that you can research and think you researched well and realize there's still so much you don't know. And that's kind of where I was with it. Is the first time I tried low FODMAP, I'd done some research, but not enough, and so I failed in like a day. And this time I had done more research, but again, not enough, and so I failed in like a week. We're making progress even though maybe it doesn't feel like it. I'm learning more and I'm trying things and I'm doing my best, and that's all that we can hope for. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important not to discount the mental aspect of doing something like this. I personally never thought that I would ever do another restrictive diet after recovering from my eating disorder and after recovering from, and I say recovering because my vegan phase was very restrictive and very unhealthy, like in terms of diet diversity. So recovering from all of that and getting to the really healthy place that I feel that I am with food right now, and then having to restrict all these things. It's really, really hard mentally, and I think that is valid. As far as symptoms, all of my symptoms have come back since going off of low FODMAP. Like regurgitation is back, no appetite. It's crazy because I was so hungry when I went off low FODMAP, and now that I'm like eating higher FODMAP foods, I have no appetite, no interest in food. Like I was walking through Trader Joe's tonight to kind of maybe see if I needed anything for the house, because we're at the end of the week, so we're running out of groceries, and I didn't buy a single thing. Nothing looked good. And Trader Joe's usually has like stuff that catches your eye. Nothing in the whole store looked good. Like my appetite is that low. Heartburn is back. Nausea is back. I mean, everything is back. I feel terrible again. I want to feel as good as I felt on low FODMAP, but I just need to figure out how to do it. And I just haven't figured it out yet. The ice cream that I bought, of course, ate that initial pint. And then I've been kind of tasting the mint ones that I bought. And this one, the Minter Wonderland, so good. So good. And so I had some of it with lunch today, and then I was about to finish the pint because I was like, I think I'm gonna finish it and just like finish it tonight, watch some TV with Robert. And I went to take a bite and it didn't taste good. And I was like, oh, I don't actually want this. I am satisfied with this. And so I'm just going to have one Go-Gurt and watch TV with Robert. And I just wanted to illustrate that when you don't restrict, your body knows when you're done with something. That's how it works. Our bodies are pretty freaking smart. Good morning. It's Saturday morning and I have no appetite. Like, it's crazy how when I don't follow the low FODMAP diet, I lose my appetite. And so then like I had this brief window where I had the emotional hunger and the hunger back from being on the low FODMAP diet where I wanted to eat everything. And now that I've got my SIBO all irritated again, I have no appetite. And so it's like it doesn't even matter that I am letting myself eat whatever I want because I don't want to eat anything. My personal theory is that the bacteria that have colonized my small intestine are closer to my stomach. And so they're causing, like when they inflate with like gas from eating FODMAPs, I think that it like puts pressure on my stomach and then makes me feel like I have gastroparesis. I think that's what's going on, but don't quote me on it. That's just my armchair theory. This is kind of like a fun, weird fact about me. When I initially went vegan for 3 years, which was right before college, I thought that I had to have every single book about veganism that I could find. So I bought 20 to 30 books on veganism, recipe books, informational books, everything. I think I spent like $400 on all these books. I kind of repeated that a little bit by buying all the books on low FODMAP that I could find yesterday. I did not spend $400. I got 8 books for $100, which seems reasonable. Like, I've exhausted all the online research on low FODMAP. I have researched over the past few weeks everything online that I can find, and I just need to see what these books have to say, see if there's any good recipes, because they're all recipe books as well, and just get other help. So I'm not gonna show everything that I eat today because I just want to focus on researching today and just having a chill Saturday and resetting from all the stress of the week, but I will show you what I'm having for breakfast. For today, I'm just kind of going with the flow and doing what I feel. I have this bowl of my normal low FODMAP fruits, my kiwi, my orange, and my raspberries. And then I got these plain bagels from Wegmans that were really good. And all through childhood, I love to have a plain bagel with butter and salt. It just is the best thing ever. And so that's what I'm having with my fruit. I'm having a plain bagel with butter and salt. And I know that gluten is high FODMAP, but that's what I feel like having, and I'm not gonna let these bagels go to waste that I bought. It's like three-ish. I've really just been relaxing all morning. And as far as food, I ate that fruit, and then I ate a bagel, and then I ate 2 more bagels. So I ate 3 bagels. I just ate all the rest of the bagels. You know, I like finishing things, and I figured I might as well finish them before I start this diet again tomorrow. So no regrets. But I do have a really bad headache, and I just don't feel great, but I knew that was gonna happen, so I'm not too stressed. But I wanted to show you all the books that I'm gonna kind of flip through and look for recipes to deal with the rest of the day. We have this one, The Gut Friendly Cookbook, The Low FODMAP Diet Step by Step, The Complete Low FODMAP Diet, Low FODMAP and Vegan, The Low FODMAP Diet for Beginners. And yes, that was only 6 books. I told you I ordered 8. I did order 8, and the other 2 are gonna come tomorrow. But I think I could even lift these all. I think this is more than enough to like get started with. So you would think that, well, I thought that if I threw up the bagels and the berries, it wouldn't taste that bad. But for some reason, wheat coming back up tastes really bad. Excuse me. The belching is back. Everything is back. So yeah, that was really gross coming back up. And then on Thursday, I did throw up the ice cream at the very end of the night. And then on Friday, it just does not taste good coming back up. It just does not. Don't like it. What was I thinking? Like the brain fog is back. I went to the store with a list, and because I'm going to make dinner and dessert for us out of this book, I'm gonna make a low FODMAP dinner and a delicious low FODMAP dessert, and I kind of want to show you because I can't just like, I can't cheat anymore. Like I feel so bad. I regret everything. I regret the ice cream. I regret the bagels. It was good going down, but like so bad coming up, and the brain fog is back and the weakness is back. Like I could barely walk around Wegmans. I have no energy. I'm so nauseous. I just feel so sick. It's hard to imagine that food. Like all I've eaten today is some fruit and 3 bagels that were plain bagels with no cream cheese or anything on them. And I'm this sick from plain toast essentially and fruit. I get the ice cream not making me feel that well, but like even just plain stuff that has gluten in it makes me feel this sick. Like any FODMAPs make me this sick because that's counter to like everything that I taught myself when I recovered from my eating disorder, right? Like food is good, food isn't gonna hurt you, but food is hurting me. So I'm making a lemon meringue pie, which I'm so excited about, and these delicious pork chops with herbs and potatoes and vegetables. It's gonna be so freaking good. But it's hard to get myself excited about cooking because I just feel so nauseous and so bad. All I wanna do is lay down. Also, it is so hard to vlog when I feel sick from the SIBO because of the burping. I just keep burping, and then it's so hard to film like consecutive clips where I'm talking. Did I mention I've had a headache since Thursday? Like my head hurts so badly. I'm not alleviated by anything, and it's really hard for me to think clearly because my head hurts so badly. My memory is gone. Like how can my gut being bad affect so much? I don't know. It is terrifying. Robert likes to tease me about the fact that the SIBO breath test was the last GI test that I did because I was so convinced that I didn't have SIBO because I had only ever heard SIBO described as IBS on steroids. It's people would be like, well, it's like IBS, but it's way worse. You have way more bloating and way more cramping and way more diarrhea and constipation, and that's what SIBO was explained to me as. But my SIBO is nothing like that. My SIBO is so upper GI focused, and then I have some bloating, but I have no cramping, no lower abdominal pain, I don't have any diarrhea, any constipation. So I have all the belching, so much belching, and vomiting and all that stuff that is not a common symptom of SIBO. So I think that's why it was so hard for me to come to terms with the fact that I had SIBO, even after I got tested, because my symptoms, I just couldn't really identify with anybody else that I talked to who had SIBO, because I was hearing all these stories of IBS, and I was like, well, I don't really have IBS, but like, I have SIBO, so I don't understand. SIBO is a ton of symptoms. Just PSA, SIBO symptoms don't always look like what you think they do. That's part of why I'm making these videos, honestly, because I was blindsided by having SIBO because of my symptoms. And there's probably a lot of other people out there who have similar symptoms to me who are confused, so hence part of why I'm making these videos. I've been cooking for like about an hour and a half. I'm very, very slow at cooking, which is one of the reasons why I struggle to do it consistently, because of my OCD and whatnot, and how much I have to wash my hands. Like, cooking just takes me longer than it does other people. But in order to do this diet, I'm gonna have to cook a lot, so I'm gonna have to make peace with that and just accept that for the next month or more, I will be cooking a lot, and hopefully I'll get faster at it as I get better at it. So to start off, we have these roasted vegetables. It is roasted green beans and roasted broccoli, and I'm gonna let Robert eat more of the broccoli than me because the broccoli does have a higher FODMAP amount. Then I found out potatoes are FODMAP free. I don't know how I didn't know this, but they are. So we have this like massive bowl of mashed potatoes, which we're not gonna eat all tonight, but that'll be great to have in the fridge for leftovers. And then I'll show you the meat that I'm cooking. So I'm cooking these pork loins, which are gonna be delicious and definitely carry us for more than one meal. And then this is a butter, parsley, Dijon mustard sauce that we're gonna put on top of the pork once it is cooked. So this is the finished pie crust. It does not look that great, and part of that is because I didn't have a pie pan and I didn't have a rolling pin, so I had to like press it into the pan. I'm really not thrilled about the pockets of egg on the bottom of the pie crust. The recipe says to put an egg wash on the pie crust, and I didn't have a pastry brush, so I had to kind of like spoon it on there. And I think that I ended up with too much egg wash, but also I don't really know why she wanted us to use an egg wash, because I've made a lot of pies in my life. I actually used to work as a baker at a coffee shop. Yeah, I've made a lot of pies and I've never put an egg wash on a pie crust while it was baking, but I was trying to follow the recipe. I will probably not be doing that if I make this pie again. This is the final plate. I have my mashed potatoes, I have my vegetables, and you'll notice that I have mostly the green beans, and Robert has more of the broccoli, but I have a couple of broccolis in there. Then that is my small little pork chop, and then the sauce that is on everything is the mustard and parsley and butter sauce. So yeah, excited to eat this low FODMAP dinner. I'm gonna have to put this recipe in the description or something, because this recipe, in my opinion, is life-changing. And that butter mustard parsley sauce was so freaking good. I do not normally like pork very much, but I freaking destroyed it. I ate all my potatoes, and I put some of that butter sauce on the potatoes too. I cleaned my entire plate. There is nothing left. Cookbooks are already making this diet way, 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 way better. And we have leftover pork and leftover potatoes, but not leftover veggies or sauce. So tomorrow I'll probably just make some more sauce and veggies, and then we can have this again for lunch or something. My hands are covered in lemon juice and it really hurts. And I don't feel like I'm doing this in an effective manner. I need to figure out where I put lemon juicer thing. That's the main thing that we need right now. I don't know. I think we managed to use like every piece of kitchen equipment that we have, but the pie is in the oven, so I'm excited. We finally used our stand mixer for the first time in ages, which was really nice. You can't really make a meringue without a stand mixer, so we had to use that. So this took a lot of effort. It is definitely not an everyday type of thing, because it's Saturday, I figured, why not? The pie looks really good, but I'm very, very nervous to eat it, because the crust, like I said, it looks kind of weird. I've tasted the custard and it's good, but it's very, very sour because there's not like a ton of sugar in it. I'm worried this pie is gonna taste like too healthy, but then again, if I can have pie and have it be low FODMAP, I think it's gonna be worth it. So we will see when it's cooled enough. I could have waited until the pie was chilled. Robert thought it would taste better chilled, but I really wanted to try the pie because I was hungry and it was like a low FODMAP pie and I was like, man, I really want to try this. As you can see, I did have some. Here, I am sort of the wrong person to market like healthy baked goods to, because I used to be a professional baker and my mother also used to be a professional baker. So I grew up having like the best of the best baked goods. Like I never had anything bad. Never a bad cookie, a bad cake. It was always like amazing, like best of the best. And so when I eat a pie that's like meh, I'm like, dang, that's so disappointing because I'm used to my mother's lemon meringue pie, which is a perfect crust and a perfect meringue and a perfect lemon custard. And like, it's just, it couldn't be better, right? The crust on this pie, not good. Like I ate one bite of it and I was like, no, not good. Maybe because it's gluten-free. I've never had a gluten-free pie crust. It's just not great. The custard is delicious and it's actually not too sour because the meringue is so sweet. I think the meringue uses a lot more sugar than my mom's meringue normally does because the meringue is so sweet, but it balances out the lemon custard, which is really sour. So it works out. It's a moderately good dessert. Like I wouldn't write home about it certainly because my mom makes a better one. It's good for what it is, I guess is what I would say. And it's good, I guess, for a recipe written by someone who was clearly not used to baking. Just the way the recipe was written was kind of weird. And I could kind of tell that she wasn't a natural baker, which is fine. What I think I would like to do is to kind of look at my mom's recipe and then look at this recipe and compare them and sort of figure out where I can tweak this recipe to make it better so it's still low FODMAP, but it just like is better. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna end the vlog. I'm gonna be using these cookbooks. I'm gonna be doing low FODMAP, seeing how I go. Although I think the pie was too much sugar for me. Like I feel kind of like bad now. So maybe even though it's low FODMAP, too much sugar might not be for me. My body's just weird. I don't know. I don't feel good right now.